Hello there and welcome to a brand new episode of Hala Kuwait. My name is Tariq Al-Aryan and we're coming to you live tonight from the Ministry of Information and Studios right here in downtown Kuwait. And I hope everyone out there is having a great evening wherever you may be watching tonight's episode of the program. As usual, the camera crew have been very busy filming all around the state of Kuwait. We have a lot of great reports to get you caught up on tonight's episode of the program. Also, we have some distinguished guests who will be joining us very shortly right here in the studio. But we'd like to start out tonight's episode of Hala Kuwait with this first report on the ceremony of the signing of the contract of managing and operating the new passengers building, Terminal 4. This is at the Kuwait International Airport. A lot of great things going on. So let's take a look at this report. Stay tuned.
I am so glad on behalf of all Kuwait Airways staff and board members also, glad to congratulate Kuwait and all the passengers using the services of Kuwait Airways about the ceremony which we had this morning, or we witnessed this morning, the signing of the contract between Anshin Airport Corporation and Civil Aviation Kuwait, signed by Sheikh Salman Al Sabah and the CEO of Anshin Corporation. And this is really a milestone in the Kuwait history of passenger services which is related to airports. This is the first time the management of terminals is assigned to a professional corporation, international corporation, and the T4, which is a transition terminal, is going to be managed by Anshin and used by Kuwait Airways exclusively. This is going to be, inshallah, by end of July next month, I hope. And we will definitely achieve a really breakthrough towards the passenger services in the airport. So congratulations for everybody, and it is also an opportunity to congratulate His Highness the Emir and His Highness the Crown Prince, and also His Highness the Prime Minister, and all Kuwait people for this milestone achieved. Thank you very much.
Incheon International is becoming the world best airport because we have been winning our ASQ award for 12 years in a row, and we have been #1. And also we are becoming the #1 in terms of efficiency, IT technologies, and art and green airport. By 2023, our 100 million people are going to use our airport, and we also contribute greatly to the national economic growth of Korea. And we also believe that we can help Kuwait Airport and cooperate greatly, and I'm very delighted to have this event. And we will put our utmost efforts into the development of the Kuwait International Airport.
Well, we're back right here in the studio live on Hala Kuwait on KTV2, the family channel. And our guest right now in the studio, we have with us His Excellency, Mr. Fernando Maza, and he is the ambassador of Cuba to the state of Kuwait, and joined also this evening by Dr. Mustafa Bahbahani. And Dr. Mustafa is the chairman of the Kuwaiti Gulf Group. Your Excellency, we'd like to welcome you to our program, Hala Kuwait.
It's an honor, Tariq. Thank you for the invitation. This is the second time we have the possibility and the privilege to be here in your very nice program. Last time we met was when we were preparing together with the Dr. Mustafa Bahbahani the trip of a group of very outstanding Kuwaiti citizens to Cuba. They already returned and they enjoy a lot the trip. It will be a very
we'll be talking about that very shortly.
To talk a little bit about
Your
the
Excellency.
experience of the trip.
Plus that and a lot more. And Dr. Mustafa, also welcome back to our program, Hala Kuwait. Nice to have you with us tonight.
Thank you for having me again to talk about our function activities.
Yeah, I believe, Dr. Mustafa, yesterday evening you held a meeting titled Challenges of Small and Medium Projects. Tell us a little bit about that meeting. How did that take place? Who attended? And tell us more about it in detail, please.
You know that His Highness the Emir established the fund, the 2 billions, and this is helping the new generation of Kuwait youth. This first time we try to evaluate implementation and focus on their project if they have any obstacles, so we can help. So it was for awareness. I talk also about 4 points which through the history of Kuwait change the economy to the negative and 4 points to the positive. For instance, we had crisis in perils because of the artificial perils. We suffered. Second one, we suffered during the invasion. Third one, during the Suq al-Manakh. And the fourth
stock market
one,
collapsed at
collapse.
that time, yes.
And then the last financial crisis, which was negative in the economy.
And I believe, Dr. Mustafa, many distinguished guests were in attendance. Besides His Excellency, also Dr. Saad Barrak was there?
Yes, but let me say again, in short, the positive events on the economy was the discovery of oil, which changed the whole economy, and then establishing the sovereign funds, and also the compensation from the UN, which we help to get the claims. And the last one is the fund itself, which has 2 billion. So this should change the economy for the better. So we have to focus in this. Already a few years past, we want this small business and medium to succeed. So we had ambassadors from different countries because they have similar issues, and from the small business, and we had experts. So I think it went very well.
Yeah, it looked like it was very successful. Mr. Ambassador, how was that meeting yesterday? I know you were in attendance. How do you feel it went?
Yes, that was a privilege for me to to be invited to this very important event, because for Cuba it's very important to know the experience of other countries, and mainly brother countries like Kuwait, to know how they move and how they did to have those very beautiful country, very developing country. Because Cuba right now is in a changing process to open the economy and to improving the small and medium business. And that was the topic yesterday in the conference. And it was very important for me to know that, because they paid there yesterday close attention the importance of the human being preparation to deal with small and medium business. Then it was very important for me to know the experience of the people that yesterday explained the experience and how they did so very good and beautiful job to have the country you have today, Kuwait.
Yes, as we mentioned also, we were having Dr. Saad al-Barrak. He's well-known speaker, and so it went for a long time because the audience went to
ask some questions and participate.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad it was a success, and it's good to have these like workshops and conferences from time to time to talk about these very important subjects. And Dr. Mustafa, I know recently you came back from, as His Excellency was saying at the top of our interview, from a very successful trip to the beautiful country of Cuba. Yeah. Tell us, how was that trip to Cuba and what you saw and experienced there?
Well, I think a lot of people were interested in Cuba, but they were worried about the long distance. So, but we had...
It's really not that long. It's like going to the United States. That's it.
Yes, so when something new change, they have some doubts. It's opposite now. Everybody want to come.
To go there, yeah.
Yes. So we went there, and we were received very well. And also from the embassy of Kuwait.
In Havana, yeah.
In Havana, the ambassador was very welcome. So for the minute we came, the ambassador, Mr. Muhammad Khalid Khalaf, he welcomed us, and he tried to help us.
Accommodate and help with things.
Yes,
very
and so the interesting things was the medical. There were some group were trying to bring staff nurses to the new hospitals. We need a lot of staff for our new hospitals. Their standard is very high, and education there is free. And we had, of course, the buildings, the renewing. The tourist is very strong. We have in the hotel, if you want to go down, the elevator were full. So from everywhere, Canada, China, they were coming, and so we went different cities. We had a tour.
Yeah, I mean, Cuba is a beautiful country, and we'll talk more about the visit, yes, Dr. Mustafa, of yourself and the friendship group and everything. But Mr. Ambassador, tell us more about the beautiful country of Cuba. And as Dr. Mustafa was saying, you're well known for the very strong medical system that you have and medical professionals. And I know we've talked before that you're working very hard also with the Kuwait side here to bring more Cuban medical experts to the state of Kuwait. Tell us more.
Yes, Tariq. The trip was last March. A group of very outstanding Kuwaiti citizens from the so-called civil society of Kuwait, mainly businessmen, doctors, professors, people from the media. They traveled to Cuba They spent there 10 days, a very nice 10 days. They visited many places. They visited health institution, health centers, the Chamber of Commerce. They met there with people from the business community, and they have the possibility to realize and to see how many things in common we have together, the Kuwait and the Cuban people. We both sides love friendship, hospitality, solidarity. Then they enjoy a lot in Cuba this offer from the Cuban people, and realize that there is a possibility to make business between both countries. They there see the potential and the possibility to travel again and to strengthen bilateral relations between both countries to improving economic, commercial, and investment activity. I think it was a very important trip for them to realize the big effort that the Cuban government do to guarantee all the Cuban people the free and massively access to the best medicine services almost in the world, and the best educational system, social security. Then there is a great potential between both countries. As you said, and the doctor explained, there is a very dynamic tourist sector in Cuba.
Sure.
And there is a lot of people from Kuwait.
And from all over the world visiting.
Trying to travel to Cuba, and I think that will be possible very soon because we have a proposal agreement by the Civil Aviation Authority from Kuwait to travel directly Kuwait Airways from Kuwait to Cuba.
Oh, very nice.
That will be a very important
success
in our bilateral relation, and many of the Kuwaiti people will have the possibility to enjoy our climate, our hospitality, our friendship. In the case of health, there is a very important willingness from both sides to improve cooperation in that regards. Right now, there are Cuban Medical Brigade from more than 138 doctors, physicians, and nurses getting ready to travel to Kuwait to work here to cooperate with the Kuwaiti authority to pay the best health attention to the Kuwaiti people. And we have a very brilliant future in our cooperation between both countries, and the trip of the Dr. Berbehani leading the friendship group between Cuba and Kuwait has a very important role in that regards.
Yes, I mean, tell us more,
Yes,
Doctor.
I want to mention Cuba is unique. Everybody in the world fascinating by the cars. If you see the cars, there is nowhere like Cuban cars, you know.
The nice classic cars.
Yes. So it's everywhere, used by the tourists, very good condition, and also the cigar. Of course, the cigar is well known.
They're well known for that, but plus a lot more, as Mr. Ambassador was saying. I mean, the medical, the education, of course, the economy now. Many things are changing, Your Excellency, now to the positive, to the forward, correct?
Yes, this is a very important strategic objective of the Cuban government to moving forward and to guarantee the best standard of life of our people. And it began to guarantee the full and free access to a very nice health system and educational system. Those are the priority of the Cuban government, and we have our philosophy is to share our health achievement with other countries. For instance, right now there are more than 50,000 Cuban doctors and physicians working all over the world, helping other peoples, and 100 of them will travel soon to Kuwait. And we have in Havana, in Cuba, more than almost 20 faculty of medicines, where studying 121,000 young people from all over the world. Even in the future could be some Kuwaiti young people studying medicine in Cuba.
And it's free.
Free.
Yeah.
And it is a very important Cuban achievement, and the Cuban willingness and the Cuban, and the Cuban philosophy is to share that possibility with...
Inshallah, that's what we hope for, Mr. Ambassador, that to have more
أهلا
collaboration.
وسهلا أكيد.
Akid, thank you so much.
Yes,
That's
also,
go ahead. You also on Cuba, and then you visited Peru also. As our
yes.
time is going, tell us more about these trips,
Yeah,
Dr. Mustafa.
Peru is also a very friendly country. We are together now, Kuwait and Peru, at the Security Council. So we established the friendship group more than 3 years, and we received very well by the former ambassador and his wife, and they love Kuwait. They always...
Yes, they were very good friends of Kuwait.
Yes, so they received us well. We, at that time, the new president was coming. We went to the palace. We saw the ceremony. We went to the Chamber of Commerce. We're going to bring 2 llamas from there.
Very nice.
And they have very strong business in the llama skin. It's, and also they have beaches, at the India and the
nice coastline there.
yeah,
I think,
coastline. Yes.
Very nice.
Right.
Yes.
So we went different places. Also, the city, the center, even though it has 9.5 million, you feel like a village, So a lot of activities, and I think this way they want to know more about Kuwait, and everybody likes our unique social activities, like in Diwaniyah. If you see Ramadan is coming, Holy Ramadan, you will see ambassadors going everywhere. They are amazed.
Your Excellency, you like the local tradition, the Diwaniyas here?
Yes, I've been invited to some of them, mainly the Diwaniyah of the Dr. Berbehani. It's a very important event for the Kuwaiti people to meet each other, to share point of view, to share, support each other. This is a very important phenomenon. I am so pleased to be invited to those very important events. I'm enjoying a lot.
Well, Mr. Ambassador, we are also very happy that you and your family are here in the state of Kuwait.
I'm enjoying a lot.
And we're very happy that you're enjoying your time here. And, our time is going quickly on tonight's episode. At the end of our interview, do you have any last words or comments about the beautiful country of Cuba?
Well, the Cuban is ready to improve the bilateral relation with Kuwait and to put on the hand of Kuwait people and Kuwait authority all the achievement we have in educational system, in health system. And I always finish my conversation with Kuwaiti people. I don't speak Arab, but I have a very nice words in Arab for the Kuwaiti people. Tahia Kuwait.
Okay, that's very, very kind of you, Mr. Ambassador. And always nice to see you and have you on our program, Hala Kuwait. And Dr. Mustafa, at the end of our interview, any last words or comments for the guests watching tonight, the audience?
Yes, I think there is a history between Latin America and Arab countries through Spain. So it's a new world for us. We should push from the side of the government, also from civil society, because we complete each other. So we believe that there is a lot of room to improve
this very already
for
strong
both countries and the people.
Well, it was a pleasure to have you both this evening. We'd like to thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Tariq, for the invitation.
And Dr. Mustafa for being my guest tonight right here on the program. Thank you so much.
And we appreciate all what you give us the chance to talk about our society and the Kuwait.
It's my pleasure, and you're both always welcome to come on the program.
Thank you for the invitation.
Kuwait. Thank you so much. We were speaking to His Excellency Mr. Fernando Perez Maza, the Ambassador of Cuba to the State of Kuwait, and Dr. Mustafa Babahani, Chairman of the Kuwaiti Gulf Group. We thank them very much for their time, valuable time with us this evening right here on Hala Kuwait. Right now we're going to move on to another one of our great reports on the Kuwait National Library Ramadan event. Let's take a look at what they're preparing for the holy month of Ramadan. Stay tuned.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is our celebration as a Masr al-Mahrusa charity organization. Masr al-Mahrusa charity organization is an organization here serving in Kuwait with volunteers from different countries, mainly from Egypt, concerning by volunteer work, mainly human development works. We have many activities. We have lectures, we have role plays, and we have sport activities also. Today our celebration is about Ramadan and for two parts. One is spiritual, religious part, how we can prepare ourselves for Ramadan from a spiritual and religious point of view, and also me, I am Dr. Yasser Kinani, anesthetist and intensivist in Jara Hospital. I will present about the health and Ramadan and the habitual nutrition facts about Ramadan and the healthy habits about Ramadan. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum. Happy Ramadan. We're expecting Ramadan in few days now. And in Masr al-Mahrusa, we get ready for Ramadan in different way. We try to combine between different sides. First of all, of course, the religious side, how to get motivated in order to worship Allah and make the best use of Ramadan. Second is the health side. Of course, you know, all of us have some very bad habits in Ramadan concerning eating and everything. We're trying to address this. And the third side is the vibes of Ramadan. All of us have memories of Ramadan in our home countries. We have memories of Ramadan since our childhood. We're trying to remember those vibes together in order to feel some good feelings.
Well, we're back once again right here on Hala Kuwait, and we're coming to you live tonight from the Ministry of Information studios right here in downtown Kuwait. And I hope everyone out there is enjoying their evening, wherever you may be watching tonight's episode of the program. So let's now go on to another one of our great reports. Let's take a look at this report about the Kuwait Info Security and Social Media Conference and Exhibition. Stay tuned.
have our main sponsors as Paramount Computer Systems, and we also have our educational partners CompTIA from UAE, and various other strategic partners with us and media partners taking part this morning. We are hosted here at the venue of Radisson Blu Hotel in Kuwait.
Our participation this year comes to show the initiatives and the programs conducted by Oman National CERT towards safe cyber environment and how other countries get the benefit of the success of these programs and initiatives.
Well, we're back right here on Hala Kuwait, and I hope everyone out there is enjoying their evening so far. Right now, let's get to our second interview segment. We have with us Mr. G. Ramaswawi, and he is the Chief Operations Officer, and joined by Yasser Abdul Ghani, who is the Country Manager. And we're going to be talking a little bit this evening about the info security and social media conference that was recently held right here in the state of Kuwait. And Ram, welcome to our program, and Yasser, welcome to our program.
Thank you, Tariq.
Pleasure to have you both right here in the
It's
studio.
our pleasure to be here. Thank you.
And maybe we could start out with you, sir. Tell us a little bit about the recently concluded the Kuwait Info Security and Social Media Conference and Exhibition.
Sure. The Kuwait Information Security event is an annual event that is being held which exclusively focuses on cybersecurity.
Okay.
As you know, cybersecurity is such a evolved field right now. It's a very hot subject, and there's a lot of attention that is being garnered
worldwide
by
on this topic.
Worldwide, there's a huge lot of attention. And this is the 10th year of the event that is happening in Kuwait. This event is done under the patronage of the Central Agency of Information Technology in Kuwait. And I believe this is one of the premier events, not only in Kuwait, but in the GCC region, focusing on information
security. Did it take
security.
place yet, or is it going to happen soon?
It's happened last week.
Okay.
It's 9th and 10th of May is what it happened. And at Paramount, we are pleased that, Kate has reached out to us last year. Last year was the first year of our participation. We had a great participation last year. We had a great presence this year as well. And inshallah, we look forward to continued association with Kate in this
That's
in the
what we
future
hope
as well.
to have more of that collaboration.
Yes,
and Yasser, tell us about the theme of this year's conference, and how did it go in your opinion?
Actually, the theme it's about on cybersecurity, or about information security at all. We add to it also the social media one. So we need to tell everyone how he can use the social media and how he protect himself from any hacking there or there.
So a lot of hacking going on, huh?
Yes, hacking is going on. Ransomware is coming to everyone. So actually, it was a 13 presentation inside the conference, always talking about the security and how to protect yourself. And how to use the social media actually in an effective way and in secure way. We participate there as Paramount. We're giving a lot of solutions for the end users and for the enterprise actually to help them secure their environment. We're talking here about the information security, no physical security is included.
Okay, now Ram, people here love social media in the state of Kuwait, and for that matter, worldwide.
Sure.
And as Yasser was mentioning, you gave solutions and talked about things. So what could we tell our audience now? How to better protect themselves?
I would like
some general tips for our audience, please, as you're both experts in this field.
Absolutely. I would like to categorize social media into two parts.
Sure.
One is usage of social media as individuals, like, we all use social media, for Facebook,
basis,
Twitter on a personal basis. Secondly, we use social media on behalf of the companies that we represent. So when we use social media on a personal level, obviously we need to safeguard some interests. Like, for example, we need to be careful what we put on the social media and what we don't put.
Sure.
We don't expect to put sensitive information on the social media. Sometimes we don't even want to say, specific instances that has occurred and so on. That might be a lead for some hackers. So What can happen, obviously, we need to be very safe in terms of what attachments we download, because we could be susceptible to phishing attacks and so on and so forth. On the corporate side, the risks increase manifold. There, the broad categories of risks I would like to define is, firstly, you could run into reputation risks, where the second category could be financial risks. The third could be risks regarding privacy. Fourth category would be around statutory regulation, compliance, and so on. So these are risks which are big in magnitude. Reputation risk could, you might post something which might be incorrect and it could bring the brand into disrepute. Financial losses could incur, which direct financial losses could incur. For example, wrong information reported and could change the share value and so on and so forth. Privacy, for example, masquerading, of identities could be another thing that can happen out there. Confidentiality breach is again very important. You might post some information which inadvertently might breach somebody else's intellectual property rights, patents, and so on, which could result in lawsuits, etc., etc. So those are things which needs to be governed. From a Paramount standpoint, we've always been saying that the only way we fix solutions is we need to have a triad approach, have a governance structure, look at processes, and then also support with systems and tools.
Go ahead, sir.
Today there are systems and tools available that can track these things, see what is being falsified and so on, but tools alone cannot solve the problem. You need the right processes and the governance structure to fix it.
But now tell us, Yasser, what are some things people can do to avoid being hacked and so forth? Tell us some specific things. This is for our audience watching who would like to learn from experts such as yourself.
It's tools. It's some tools actually you can use it to protect this one. I don't need to say names because there's a lot of names on this one.
Sure.
But it's a very simple tools. If you install it in your laptop, if you are using it as personal one, so it will protect you from any hacker coming there, or at least will give you alert that somebody is doing something in your social media part. So when you are attaching, downloading any files from the social media board, or uploading some photos or something like this, these tools will protect you from any hackers or any ransomware coming here or there. This is the private users can use it. It's small tools, very, very cheap. It's not expensive for the private one. For the enterprise, it's different tools and different something, but for our normal users, it's very small tools. It's antivirus, anti-malware, and anti-spam.
Sure.
This is what the tools is providing them. So no viruses, no malware, no spams will come to them if they are using this tool.
But cybercrime these days also, Mr. Ram, is really rampant, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, if the saying goes, there need not be another world war.
Yeah. This is enough.
The cybercrime is enough to actually, because see, if you look at history, if you look at Paramount, we started this business of providing solutions for cybersecurity back in 1999. Those days, security meant some antivirus solutions at the endpoints.
So over 20 years almost experience in this field.
We've been in this business for literally 20 years. But in 99, there were no smartphones, there was no social media. Yes. Internet usage was very limited.
Very quickly.
So now look at it, 20 years looks like 200 years, in our generation, obviously. There's so much of change that is happening right now. So because of which the conventional endpoint, which used to be a fixed PC, has now changed. Now you have so many devices that can access it. Everything is smart. Your phone is smart, your watch is smart, your television is smart, your access control systems are smart. Anything which is smart has got intelligence and so is potential and susceptible to hacking. And the way we really provide a solution around it is information security. The end objective is to have confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And this is done through people awareness. One of the critical components is increasing overall awareness. A lot of things need not necessarily happen through malicious intent. It could happen because of lack of awareness. And at Paramount, we play a huge role. We do a lot of tools, solutions, and so on in increasing awareness for people, both at a personal level as well as at a corporate level, and we do it on a sustainable basis. Secondly, processes. How do we make sure that these are being audited, managed, and run through on a regular basis? Then comes technical solutions and tools and technologies.
Now, what about protecting oneself, Yasser? Let's say, how would someone choose a good password? Sometimes people are very, let's say, negligent and maybe a bit ignorant. They may put a password of their loved one, their family member, or their birth date, which is something which people may know.
Yeah, there is a rules actually to make a password. This one. First, the minimum to be an 8 character. minimum 8 character.
Okay.
You need to use a capital letter, at least one of them, first one, last one, in the middle, and you have to see a string like $sign or something in between this character. So this is and the number. So if you choose this character with 8 character, it is a strong password, but you have frequently change it. So put yourself as every 1 month you change this password.
Really?
Yes.
Why is that?
You know, any hackers, you know now the hackers in everywhere, he's listening. So sometimes if you are writing the password daily 3 or 4 times, they are having some program to try to hack this password. So you need frequently to change it. This one. Don't use your name, your birth date, your wife name or your son name. Don't use it in your password, because this is the first thing the hacker will think about.
Yeah, it's a
so
quick clue for them to find out.
Yeah, yeah. So 8 character minimum of the password has to have a capital letter, string, like $sign or something like this, and number. In this combination, it will be very difficult for any hacker to help.
Sure.
He can get it also, but it will make his life more difficult if we can do this.
Added to that, one other thing is that simple thing. If you're doing internet banking, for example, we recommend don't key in the password. Use a virtual keyboard. Because there are today technologies available which, if your PC is infiltrated or if your mobile phone is infiltrated, if you key in the password, this password can be captured. And that can be used for later transactions. If you use a virtual keyboard, you're not typing the keyboard.
Wow, so it just feels like we're not safe anymore, really, huh?
Absolutely. At a broader level, if you look at enterprises and corporates, password management is just one small subject. The overall field, what we call is strong authentication, which is a altogether different subject. Password is one aspect. We look at biometric authentication, retina scan authentication, and so on. So these are multiple factors of authentication. We say for corporates, password alone is not enough. You need a second factor for authentication and probably a third factor of authentication, depending on what are the criticality of applications you access and from where are you accessing. For example, the same application, if you access within the office, might be criticality level number 1. And if you do it from an out-of-band premise, it could be level 2 or level 3, depending on which more than one factor might be required to authenticate the application.
Well, gentlemen, we have to have you on our program once again. There's so many things to talk about, and we appreciate your time, Mr. Yasser. At the end of our interview, do you have any last comments or words for our audience watching tonight?
Yeah, sure. Take care of from the hackers. Actually, we are here to help. If any information required, we can provide it actually, and safe to Kuwait, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Ram, at the end of our interview, any last words or comments for the audience?
Similar, I mean, we have to be one up over the hackers. So we have to be safe. We have to be secure ourselves. Involve the right practices. By involving the right practices, we will definitely be a lot safer than what we're right now. And as Yasser said, we are around. We've been in the business for 20 years. So we believe we understand the space. And we do a lot of programs for consumers, for education, for schools, and for corporates as well.
Well, we'd like to thank you both, gentlemen, for being guests tonight right here on Hala Kuwait. And we wish you all the best of luck in your future endeavors. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us. Thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure to have you both right here on the program. And right now, we'd like to move on to another one of our great reports tonight. And we want to go take a look at this report on the seminar on the role of society towards disabled people, people with special needs. So let's take a look at this report. Stay tuned.
Today we have our lecture to speak about law and about the behavior and what they are the disabled faces on the society. Today we have the Adra al-Rifai, the lawyer Adra al-Rifai, and Mona Tama, Mrs. Mona Tama. We're really grateful for them to give us our lecture, and we hope that all this, what we will speak about it will be useful for the disabled and their guardians and about the society. Thank you very much.
I'm so glad today, and it's a great honor for me to attend today's lecture for Mrs. Adra al-Rifai and Dr. Mona Tama. They will talk about the needs for the disabled people and the laws that defend them and that helps them. We as a society and as a government and as also the NGOs, we all have a big duty towards them, to take care of them, to do the best we could to help them to live safely and happily and to have a lovely life and very secure life.
Today we have a really big event that we are focused on inclusion for students with disabilities and people with disabilities, that we can include them in the societies and give them all the rights by implementing the law in 2010. Thank you so much.
Well, with that amazing report, we come to the end of tonight's episode of Hala Kuwait. I hope you enjoyed all that we brought to you on tonight's program. Make sure to enjoy the rest of your viewing this evening and all throughout the week right here on KTV2, the family channel. Before I leave you, remember to always take care of yourselves and each other, and let's always remember to respect one another. Have a nice evening and good night for now.